Hello, world. I hope you're all doing well. Um, yeah. So, yesterday I went for my assessment and my interview at this new company. I'm still waiting for them. I don't know if I got the job. I did pass the assessment, but I'm not sure if I made it through the interview. Anyway, I'll be sharing a few different things. I'll be talking about a few other topics on my channel. I've been going through a battle with the South African government for many, many years now. Um, yeah, for the past over 13 years, I've been made subject by the South African government. I've been made subject to constant harassment, abuse, and persecution while they were running a very deceitful narrative about my life story to the world. At first, for the first 10 years or so, they would use their aeroplanes on a daily basis. They made me understand that they're flying just for me. They made me understand that they're flying just for me. They are monitoring me. And for the past first couple of years, for about 10 years, they used to harass me through the aeroplanes every single day, nonstop. As soon as I would open my eyes in the morning, whether it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, they would start abusing me mentally from the time I open my eyes up until I go and sleep at night, until the point where they made me go crazy because they made me understand that they are watching my every move on a daily basis. They made me understand that they even have access to my thoughts. They can see what I'm thinking through their satellites, and they learned how to use these things in very deceitful ways. Whatever I would think on a daily basis, they would reply to my thoughts through their aeroplanes in very diabolical ways. They made me understand that I've given them enough evidence to play with. I don't know how to explain it to you. They made me understand that um, I don't want to cause confusion, so I think I'm just going to leave that part out of the video. But in a nutshell, the government literally made me understand that they're going to be playing this game with my life forever. They made me understand that they're going to make me subject to abuse on a daily basis. They're going to make me subject to harassment and persecution on a daily basis. And they made me understand that nobody's ever going to know the truth about what they're doing to me. Because to the world, they've been running a whole different narrative about my story. Um, and what they used to do is they used to teach me that my job on a daily basis is to keep their audience entertained. They made me understand that they expect me to use my knowledge, they expect me to use my wisdom, they expect me to use my expertise, they expect me to use my gifts. They made me understand that they expect me to keep their audience entertained on a daily basis. They expect me to wow their audience on a daily basis. And they made me understand there were times when I'm 41 years old, and there were times where I just wanted to relax for the day. I didn't feel like talking. I didn't feel like doing anything. They used to make me understand I have to keep the audience entertained. It's my job. They made me understand that my life is now nothing. I am nothing more than an animal on a leash. They made me understand that my only purpose in life is to be used by their system as a tool to advance their agenda. And they made me understand that this is going to be my new purpose in life forever. And whenever I refused to give them what they want, whenever I wouldn't entertain their audience the way they expected me to, whenever I wouldn't wow their audience with my knowledge or with my wisdom, they would use their aeroplanes. They would use their aeroplanes. They would exercise very intense mind control techniques on me. Um, they used their intelligence every single day. They did this every single day from the time I would wake up in the morning. Even if I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, they would start using their military techniques on me to control my mind, to distort my mind. They used their intelligence to form new patterns in my brain, um, to form new distorted patterns in my brain. They trained me like I was an animal on a leash. They used their aeroplanes to train my mind and my nervous system how to respond to certain sounds. Remember, these people would be watching me on a daily basis. They would make me understand that we're watching your every move. They would make me understand that we can see all your thoughts. And they would use their aeroplanes to communicate with me or to respond to me. They introduced me to a very, very diabolical world. And in this world, I was now made subject to constant harassment, constant abuse, and constant persecution. But behind my back, they were running a whole different narrative about my story to the world. And the narrative that they were running to the world about me was very, very manipulative. The people had no idea what the South African government was actually doing to me in the secret. And yeah, they used to make me understand in the mornings when I woke up, they used to make me understand I don't have the right to sleep. I don't have the right to relax. I don't have the right to enjoy anything. They made me understand that my new purpose in life is to be used as a tool in their agenda. And they made me understand their agenda is to use me to keep the world entertained. They made me understand that I am obligated to wow their audience on a daily basis with my knowledge, with my wisdom, with my personality, with everything God has given me. And they used to make me understand that whenever I showed them that I'm not going to do it, or whenever I just try to sleep or relax during the day, their system would come through their aeroplanes and they would whip me. They would make me understand, we punish you. If you're not going to entertain our audience today, we're going to punish you. You don't have the right to sleep. You don't have the right to relax. You don't have the right to make your own decisions. You don't have the right to live your own life. Because your life's purpose is now to give us what we want. Your life is just a tool that we're going to use for our agendas. They made me understand that you are nothing more than an animal on a leash. That's all you are to our system. You are an animal on a leash. And whenever I refused to entertain the audience on a daily basis, they would use military techniques on me. I can't explain it. They would use these military techniques on me. I don't know where to start. They would use military techniques on me. They didn't care if their audience would get good entertainment from me or if their audience would get bad entertainment from me, as long as their audience got any kind of entertainment from me on a daily basis. So whenever I refused to give their audience a show, or whenever I refused to entertain their audience the way they wanted me to entertain their audience, they would become creative in the way they would use me to try to entertain their audience. They would start using very intense diabolical mind control techniques on me, or they would show me how evil they are on a daily basis. Like, they would do it all day long just to get a reaction out of me. They didn't care if I'm going to give the world a positive message for the day or if I'm going to give the world a negative message for the day, as long as the audience would be entertained for the day. Yeah, so this is one of many things that they've done to me over over the years. They also trained me like a dog on a leash, just like you would train a dog. Just like you would train a dog, there's a way that people train their dogs. You would train the dog how to respond to a whistle. When you blow a whistle, you would train the dog to respond to a whistle. You would train the dog when to jump. You would train the dog. They literally did things to me through their military techniques. Their military would harass me all day long. And they did this to me for more than years. They did me non-stop every single day. But the people had no idea what they were doing, because behind my back, they were running a completely different narrative about my story to people. The people had no idea what the government was doing to me. Anyway, so they also remember these people watching my move. They respond to everything I think. They literally watching everything. They literally keeping a close eye on my life. And what did I want to mention? I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous here. Because right now, as I'm speaking to you, they are watching me. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Yeah, there's so many things that the African government has done to me, but there's something I wanted to mention to you. Yeah, these people literally made me understand, like they made me understand that I don't have the right to live my life anymore. Made me understand, and they still do this. They made me understand that I don't have the right to sleep and relax. My job is to keep their audience entertained. And when I refused to entertain their audience over the years, they would come with a whip. They would come around with a whip, and they would start whipping me mentally. They will start whipping my nervous system every single day of my life. They would use their military. These people would use mind control techniques on me to control my mind on a daily basis. They would make sure that they fill my nervous system with anxiety every single day. all day long. They made sure that these are the things that they did to me as a way of punishing me. They did to me as a way of punishing me because I refused to entertain the audience the way they expected me to entertain their audience. So what they would do is every single day, they would use their aeroplanes. These people would be responding. They would be using mind control techniques on me. They, all day long, they made sure that I fill my nervous system with anxiety. They would control my energy. They would do this to me every single day, all day long. And they did it to me for more than 10 years. They did it to me for more than 10 years every single day. But behind my back, they were running a very deceitful narrative about my life to the world. They learned how to turn their persecution into something that looks positive. They would strategically abuse me. They did is they would strategically abuse me every day, and they would make the world think that I'm going through a dark night of the soul. But it wasn't a dark night of the soul. It was the South African government's military would strategically use mind control techniques on me, and would strategically stop abusing me. Now and then they would strategically stop abusing me. And when they stop abusing me, they give all the impression that she went through a dark night of the soul, but now she's feeling better. But what the world didn't know is I never went through a dark night of the soul. They would strategically abuse me. Their military would strategically abuse me, and then they would strategically stop. All they needed was they needed to produce certain pictures to the world to make the world think I was depressed, and then they would stop abusing me. They would allow to recover mentally. They would allow my spirit to recover and to recover, and then they would use these pictures to make the world think that I just overcame a dark night of the soul, but I never overcame a dark night of the soul. They strategically abused me, and then strategically they just wanted the world to see certain pictures where I looked like I had a dark night of the soul, and then they would stop abusing me. They would allow my spirit to recover, and they would advertise these things in very, very deceitful ways to the world. So anyway, yeah, they trained me to be like a dog on a leash for many, many years, the South African government. They started using my situation in diabolical ways, trained my nervous system how to respond to certain sounds. They trained my mind how to respond to certain sounds. Even when I go to the kitchen to look at the knife, they taught me I'm scared of the knife. I literally used military on trying to turn me against myself. And whenever they saw, when I would try to expose the South African government to the people, they made this. If you ever try to expose us again, we're going to punish you. They taught me these things many, many years. For many, many years. They tried to expose the South African government to the world. But these people are so organized. Like, by the time you try to expose them, already made sure nobody's going to believe you. Already made sure that nobody will take you seriously. Anyway, so at the moment, I'm still very much harassed by the South African government. Cases. I'm in the process. I'm very determined. I want to try to report the South African government to the President of the United States because they are still very much abusing me. Over the past year, they have just upgraded their harassment techniques. They've upgraded their harassment techniques. They've upgraded persecution techniques. They've upgraded their oppression techniques that they've been using on me over the years. But I just wanted to make this video. Yeah. I'm very determined to expose the government of this country because they are advertising my story to the world in very, very deceitful ways. And I am determined to tell the world my real story, the true story, and also determined to report this to the President of the United States because I'm still very much being harassed by people. I'm still very much being persecuted by these people. I just wanted to share this with the world. Thank you for listening.